Thank you for watching the Citizens Report. My name is William Donahue. For today's show, I have a section about Israel, a section about the Congo, a section about Ashley Biden, a section about illegals, a heist that went on, natural disasters, and health. So those are my sections for this show. Before I get into that, please like and share this video. Also, subscribe to my channel, one, to boost my algorithm and help me to reach more people, and also to get this information to people that is crucial to understand, not only with the upcoming election, but also just having your safety in mind and an understanding of the potential for events to take place and potential for the unexpected. The unexpected can be expected when you consider all the avenues, and that's kind of what I try to do when I look down at these news articles. I try and create a timeline so that I understand what's going on. It's strange because a lot of people look at people in power or someone with a uniform on or something of that nature, and they don't hold that person to the same standard that you would hold your friend or your brother or somebody that's close to you. You are more critical of the people that you work with than you are of leadership. Maybe not you personally, but a lot of people are, and I like to look at things like as if my own brother was doing it or something, because the plans that they have laid for us, the best laid plans of mice and men often go astray. Well, these plans have gone astray a long time ago, and I think that knowing the whole picture of what's going on is imperative to your safety at this point in time in history, in the present history. Israeli troops kill anyone entering extermination area in Gaza. So this is my Israel section. The troops, soldiers, officers, security establishment are coming out and saying that they've been given shoot-to-kill orders on anyone in this extermination area. Basically, anybody, women, children, anyone unfiltered, they're given shoot-to-kill orders. So this is just wrong in principle alone. I don't know who or how many women, children they might have killed, but the officers themselves are coming out in a way as like whistleblowers and saying that this is wrong. These orders are wrong, and I agree. So this has come out and should be addressed immediately. So tens of thousands demand Netanyahu's immediate replacement. Demonstrators have accused the Israeli Prime Minister of slow walking a ceasefire deal to please hardliners in his cabinet. And they have been slow walking this ceasefire deal. It should have happened a long time ago. Basically, the reaction to the initial problem has been far greater than the damage done. I understand that Israel has the right to defend itself, but so far we haven't seen, like back in the old days, a war was two lines of guys going against each other. This war has taken place in the streets of Gaza among women and children and everybody else, indiscriminately. If I was a target and my wife is downstairs on the couch, she would be a casualty, just calculated risk or whatever. So that is what's going on in Israel, and tens of thousands have gathered to demand Netanyahu's replacement, immediate replacement, too. I like that. I wish that tens of thousands of people in America could get together to get things done. So hopefully this pans out to get rid of Netanyahu, because I don't like him at all. Israel will join Cairo truce and hostage deal talks, an official tells CNN. So, step in the right direction, I guess. I don't know if this article came out like 2 hours ago from CNN about them agreeing to do the peace talks, and it's a step in the right direction, but it's probably only due to backlash and Netanyahu seeing his power flash before his eyes, like your life flash. His power is at serious risk of being immediately taken, and then you see him react in the way that the people want. So take note of that, America, because when their power is threatened, they will listen to us. That is evidence that works, and that is something that we should learn from. The next section is the Congo. Now, Africa has always been, at least for the 1900s, 1800s, has always been divided between Europe, America, all these different influences, and it's been not colonized, but almost like soft colonized, where all the resources are just getting pulled out to other countries at the expense of the people there. So the conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The Democratic Republic of Congo experienced a spike in violence in the latter months of 2023 as the country anticipated national elections in December. These elections panned out to have the first female president of the Congo put in place. She is, I guess, no, I wouldn't call her controversial, but what she symbolizes, the country is revolting. So, and it's bigger than that. So this article says, Big Men, an ugly history of the ruthless Congo Basin timber smuggling business. Timber smuggling is probably a big deal, but probably the least of their worries. I didn't want to go too far back and talk about like what happens in the movie Blood Diamond, or that Hotel Rwanda movie where the UN and the rebel militia army groups, warlords, all these things. So power in Africa is kind of symbolic, because the real power is these smuggling groups and these diamond and lithium, or I don't know, natural resources, mines, gold, diamonds, rare earth minerals are all being, what's a good word? They're all being stolen in a way. These resources, in my opinion, come from Africa, so they belong to the African people, and the benefits should go to the African people, but it doesn't happen that way. As we saw, there's slavery in Africa, still almost similar to the American triangular slave trade. The African people are selling other African people as slaves. There's all this smuggling going on, all these resources being siphoned from is a good word. ISIS-linked rebels kill at least a dozen civilians near Congo's Ugandan border. So ISIS is uh, working in Africa. So apparently, they carried out that Moscow attack. I don't know what ISIS is specifically. ISIS to me seems like an intelligence tool used by the intelligence agencies to do certain things and influence things to happen a certain way. Why ISIS is messing around in the Congo is beyond me, but yeah, I would imagine that they have some interest in getting their hand in some of these resources that are being passed around. And then this is somebody's personal account. They said, I don't hear the sound of bullets at this camp in Rwanda. People find some peace. So these attacks and warlords and things like that have displaced tons of people, and they are in refugee camps, and they have found some peace up until now, but I don't know if what happened in Gaza with Rafah being okay. So Israel told everyone to go down to Rafah and to seek refuge there, that they would be safe. Then Israel started bombing Gaza and leveling buildings, and so far the global community has had very little response to this. So these camps, these refugee camps in Africa, probably aren't safe because these powers and influences see what's happening in Rafah, and I think that they understand that you can get away with these types of things now. I hate to make this claim because I want to see the world be a good place. I want the UN to have upheld what they were founded on and all the peacekeeper groups and all that stuff, but I don't see it that way, and I see that they're like a little kid will, ask mom for a bowl of cereal. She says no, so they ask dad, and dad lets them have the bowl of cereal. It's almost childlike to think about, but if the global community is going to allow Israel to do that, why can't ISIS do that? So the bigger thing is that you have to make the parts move. You have all these stolen resources. You have to create fear. You have to create chaos. It's an evil line of thinking that you would have to do to think, okay, we just got the green light to target refugee camps. But that's how powers and influence look right here. Helmut Schmidt, Men and Powers. Some of his ideas were very controversial, and the reason that you read a book like this is to understand people's lines of thinking. So that is my view of what's going on in the Congo. I honestly didn't even do too much research because that has been a trend of Africa for most of its history, or at least until England started sailing off and making colonies all over the world. DOJ demands prison time for Ashley Biden's diary thief. So, at first they said that Ashley Biden's diary and that Hunter Biden's laptop were both Russian disinformation. This was the election season, so both of Joe Biden's two kids were under fire for controversies. The FBI covered up their laptop and diary, which would have been used against Joe Biden. So now the DOJ is trying to prosecute the diary thief. So it wasn't a diary thief. She left it at a place that she was renting from somebody. That person took the diary and sold it to a media group so that they could report on it. This is 2 pages out of the supposed diary. And I say supposed to be fair. Also, the supposed laptop, they want to say, well, there was 2 laptops and 2 diaries, and the 2 that you guys are seeing that incriminate Joe Biden, those are Russian disinformation, and the real ones don't have any of that stuff on there. And I say, that's fake, that's a lie, that should be clearly recognized as a lie, due to the fact, specifically, that all those pictures and all that evidence, the pictures of the drugs, the hookers, all that stuff that was on Hunter Biden's laptop, I don't care if it was a real laptop or a fake laptop. Those pictures are real and are very concerning, especially with Hunter's underage niece and all those things. So this page, specifically out of Ashley Biden's diary, she recounts taking showers, inappropriate showers with her father. She recounts all these experiences, sexual experiences as a young kid that are abnormal, and she's battling. She was in some kind of soul searching, journaling. She was journaling her experience, and she was saying that in order to heal from these early life traumas, that she needs to set boundaries and all these things. So she goes through and explains. You could look it up for yourself. These are 2 pages printed off on computer paper, so it's not that impressive. But you can read this stuff and determine for yourself whether there's a need for concern. And I think you will agree with me. Now, as far as Hunter Biden's laptop goes, that's also public information, and the FBI has sued to go after the person who stole the laptop, and now they're suing to go after the person who stole this diary. So, they're admitting that these 2 things are real. These 2 things were never Russian disinformation. They were never false information, like the whole media said, all the way up to the election in 2020. So my next section is illegals, and this section doesn't do this topic any justice. I wish I could put videos in. I wish I could do a 3-hour show and show all the aspects of all these things deeper. If you do want a deep understanding, week or show by show, which I usually do every 3 days, show by show, I break down these topics, and there's tidbits of information that build up a bigger picture of the bigger picture. So this illegal section is a small peek into the window of what's going on in our country and in countries around the world, because the same, I showed you guys the replacement migration document from the UN. The same policies apply to the same countries, and the same things are happening all over the world. So this is not a coincidence or a migration, whatever they say. This is not because of poor farming conditions in South America. This is an orchestrated attempt to move the third world into the first world. And I don't know what you'd say, but does that just average everyone out as second world citizens? Like we're in some post Golden Age civilization where there's no culture, and I don't know. I don't know how to. The values of America are being stepped on. The American dream of having 2 kids, a wife, a big house with a picket fence, and all that stuff is being stepped on, and it's being given to illegal immigrants in and being taken from American veterans. The veterans who were being put up in a hotel because of their needs, whatever, being subsidized by the government, their needs being subsidized by the government, then illegals come in and say, hey, we're here. And the government says, oh, we got a spot for you. Kick all those veterans out and we'll move you guys in and take care of you. And they could all go sleep in a tent or on the side of the road or die for that matter. And you guys come first now. You guys have done nothing for this country, but you guys come first now, and you can stay here, live in this hotel. Here's a debit card, here's a cell phone, here's the pat on the head. That is our government giving you the middle finger for fighting for this country and turning around and giving all of what you fought for, gun rights. The illegals now have the right to purchase a firearm. That was a federal judge that made that decision. They're able to vote in certain situations. They're able to, or they're being actually given a path towards owning homes in the United States, and not even a path. They're being given an advantage over the American citizen on first-time homebuyer programs and all these things. Different states are doing different things, but you'll see right here. This article. Germany, hundreds of thousands of asylum seekers could soon become citizens. This is Germany. The same terminology, asylum seekers, and could become citizens. Mass neutralization could have a significant impact on the political landscape, which critics of mass migration have long argued is the whole point. So, the debate's over. The debate stage is over. Now we're into the operational stage of this. The illegals are here. They're already migrated. They're already having asylum status. They're already running chaos all over the place. They're already a majority in certain places, like I reported a couple shows ago, that the actual native populations are now a minority. I think it was in Croatia. That their culture has ended. The timeline of their culture stopped here, and now it's been replaced by all these different people who have no loyalties to this new country. And you gotta think, so they didn't stand up for themselves in their own country. Their own country got taken over by warlords or corrupt political leaders. They didn't do anything for their own country. Now they're fleeing to come here and do what? Be great people and be model citizens. They heard the streets are paved with gold, and they came to dig them up and get themselves what they need. Our country is being completely invaded. Nicaragua cuts diplomatic ties with Ecuador amid fallout from Mexican embassy invasion. Nicaragua announced it had completely severed diplomatic relationships with Ecuador Sunday, over the storming of a Mexican embassy in Quito by Ecuadorian police. So just chaos. There's all kinds of disagreements going on down there. And these countries sending their people through Mexico is tearing Mexico apart. And the whole thing, it leaves a void for power that could be filled with somebody who is super terrible. And until that happens, it's just going to be a free fall. Everything's up in the air, and there's no one to organize the collapse, like a building demolition. Fire crews and people set up specific detonations and for a controlled demolition where the building falls on top of itself. The cleanup is easy. So this crisis is like the building. Boom. The structure on the bottom goes out, and then the whole thing is in a free fall until it collapses. So if you don't organize that right, it could fall this way and hit another building, which, if Mexico is this building, the United States is the next building over, and it could fall. So we have to control this collapse as much as possible, and there needs to be leadership. Otherwise, people will look for someone to control the collapse who will potentially turn around and be a dictator, or somebody like Germany. Germany needed somebody because they were in that same situation. Their money was completely worthless. The country was falling down, and they were looking for someone to control the collapse. And there was one guy, a short little guy with a funny mustache, who said, "We need to have a strong Germany, united together." A very good public speaker too, someone with a powerful voice, a unapologetic demeanor, a all-encompassing thought process that made everyone think like, wow, Germany is going to be strong again, right? And that guy turned out to be Adolf Hitler, who carried out a massive genocide. So this whole thing, I guess, could be summed up as a power grab, and I don't know who's going to benefit from it. So this is a developing thought, and it should be paid attention to. Next section I have is just called Heist, and basically it's one article. Burglars steal as much as $30 million in one of LA's largest cash heists ever. LAPD seeks clues. San Fernando Valley money storage facility was robbed on Easter Sunday. The burglary occurred Sunday night at a facility near Similar, where cash from businesses across the region is handled and stored, said LA police. So these people got into the facility, into the vault, took $30 million of cash, and this reminds me of the scene of the Lufthansa heist in Goodfellas when, the security guard just slips him the key under the thing. Somebody had to have been on the inside on this one, in my opinion. And just like everything else, this adds to the whole thing. $30 million in cash just gone. Natural disasters. Natural disasters this week. We had Taiwan's strongest earthquake in 25 years. It killed 9 people and 50 people are missing. Those numbers might be updated since April 3rd, but a 7.2 magnitude earthquake hit Taiwan, and a 4.7 magnitude earthquake hit New Jersey. shaking felt across Northeast, including Philadelphia area. The, the earth is rumbling, telling us that there's a higher power that is very unpleased. That's my opinion of these things, because you see videos online that show these natural disasters happening, and these can be described by me as nothing but acts of God. Health. Only 59% of Americans are satisfied with their health, and that includes me and pretty much everyone I know. 59% might be an understatement, because your food, your medicine, everything that we eat nowadays, to some extent, is unhealthy. And everything that we do, the stress level, everything that we do, I think that if you were able to experience natural life the way that it's supposed to be, 100% of people would be dissatisfied with their health. But we don't know how to be healthy, so this number is based on modern standards, and still that's a failing grade. 59% of Americans. Shocking. USA has recorded over 1 million excess deaths among the over 65s since the FDA approved the COVID-19 vaccine. Shocking statistics quietly published by the U.S. Center for Disease Control revealed over 1 million excess deaths have been recorded among people aged 65 and over since the Food and Drug Administration gave emergency use authorization for the COVID-19 vaccine to be offered to the public. 1 million excess deaths. So that's 1 million people that based on trends, over 1 million people died that shouldn't have. So that's the Citizens Report. That's everything I have for you guys today. I will say before I go, please be safe during the eclipse. If you're in one of the if you're in the path of totality, please be safe, be alert, think about the potentials for what could happen with large crowds and groups of people. Also, traffic, everything. Think ahead. Maybe fill up a gas can. Maybe have some food. Maybe have self-defense methods thought about, pre-planned. And also, be somewhere away from big cities and big crowds. That is important as we go into the election season, I think, to stay out of large crowds, because then you're just a sitting duck. So, what else? I guess that's really all I have for you guys. Please pray for this country. Please pray for this show. Please pray for each other, and also pray for world peace. Pray for anything you can. Pray as much as possible. This country needs God, and this country needs reprieve from judgment that is seemingly gonna come down on us. Whether we'll get it or not, I don't know what God's will is, but we can only ask and we can only do our part to make things better. If everybody did their part, things would be better. So you and me and everyone else, lead by example, do your part, make this world a better place, and bring God back to this country. And have a good day, have a good Sunday, and Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching The Citizens Report with William Donahue. On this show, we search for knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the world around us through the lens of an American citizen.